last attempt at a start. So I'm not crazy about the fact that I've had this happen sort of twice now. But excuse me. Oh, it says I'm still hosting Night Valian. No, it looks like I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's the second time in not that long that I've had an extremely late start. So at this point, like I'm kind of like starting at the time that I finished on the late stream. But I did really want to do one on Friday, mostly because I'd actually said, I think to Mad King Brutos, that I would do a stream. I did sort of nod off, and so my sleep schedule is completely out of whack right now, and I nodded off, and I did set an alarm to have what happened not happen. But here we are. So the deal is this: I can't promise it's going to be a full length one. But I am going to do more of this game. And in particular, I'd like to do this game specifically because it's been a while since we've played it. And I don't really think there's any benefit to a New Year's stream. We're also well to the point where this may not even really qualify as a New Year's stream anymore. But I don't know. It's a... this is a game I've been wanting to get back to for a while. And I have lots of great options. I can never remember if this game requires... I think I've already adjusted the volume levels, but I might be getting drowned out by the game. You can let me know if it's going on the wrong side. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't really like spending too much time focusing on the previous year. I think this year in particular, a lot of people really like talking about how bad it was, and it's very hard to... Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to... If nothing else, I need to lower it for myself. That'll probably be a little bit more friendly. I don't want to cut the music out too much though, because it's a big appeal of the game for me. You know, there's no denying that last year was a very tough year, but in terms of stuff that happened for me, I was not as heavily affected by it. And I really don't like the idea of wanting to sort of jump... Like, I don't want stolen valor in 2020. You know, I did have my problems. They don't really compare to a lot of what other people are talking about. And I don't know, it's complaining about a number, 2020. Just, I figure there's more interesting stuff to do. But one thing I did want to talk about was some of the stuff that I really liked out of what I did last year. And one weird side effect of the lockdown was there was a while where I wound up doing these all-nighter streams unintentionally, and Rebel Galaxy Outlaw was a really big reason for that. I would start fully intending to do just a quick, you know, standard stream. This game was released in 2019 so far as I recall, but I kind of got into it in 2020. I think there was an Epic coupon that sort of drew my attention to it. And it's great. Like, it's got a great soundtrack, it's got a great attitude, and this was a real gem. I was actually a bit disappointed when people... So this thing got its Steam release last year. And I feel like the response was a bit lukewarm. Which is a shame, because I actually think this is a really good game. But then again, you know, there's sometimes going to be the vocal minority and people are going to enjoy. Actually, you know what, tell you what, before I run into the game, I'm going to take a minute here and see what So it might be that I'm looking at old reviews. So what do people say about Rebel Galaxy? Now, wow, it's quite inexpensive. $16.99. It's 50% off. Interesting. So Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is not on sale on the Epic Store, but it's half off on Steam. Well, that's a shame. So I think instead of using the affiliate link, you all should run to Steam and get yourself a copy. Yeah, like this one drives me nuts. It looks like crap, plays like crap, just a total disappointment compared to the first game. Already uninstalled and asked for a refund, just garbage? I don't understand, like, I don't know what game they're playing. Like, one I can kind of get here. It looks good, but not for me. I don't like the booze and gambling vibe to it. I really do like it. And then 77 on Metacritic. Yeah, so this game's sitting at mixed reviews for all reviews, and then mostly positive. Now, the mixed might be because of some might be because of the Epic exclusivity. But yeah, I don't know. I was really into this. Hey, Starbright Knight, how you doing? How's the game to voice volume, by the way? The music for this is kind of loud, so I've been ruminating to just try and I don't know, try and get a level. I guess we can jump into the game though. But yeah, I don't know. I think this game. Oh yeah, I also need to. Oh Jesus, I don't even remember what. I'm pretty sure the one with a ridiculous amount of time in... Hey, Sleepy Larch. Oh, great, thank you. I'm pretty sure this is my... my previous playthrough. But yeah, so this one unintentionally wound up giving me a lot of sort of all-nighter sessions. I can remember seeing the sun coming up when I was streaming this before. It really kind of crept up onto me. It does seem that there are some people who really don't like this, but I think this game is just something else. I think the thing that really attracts me to this game is much the same way that the original Rebel Galaxy does, but so the original Rebel Galaxy is a lot about capital ships, whereas Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is a bit more focused on the sun rises, doesn't just appear. Oh no, the sun was just kind of came out of nowhere. But I think the thing that's always attracted me to these Rebel Galaxy games is that they take a lot of complexity from some kind of space sims, and they really kind of focus on sort of on minimizing the amount of time between you wanting to do something cool and being able to do something cool. So I had a really big problem with Elite Dangerous when I first played it because of decisions like when you come out of hyperspace, you're facing into a sun and you need to like maneuver out of the way. And oh, congratulations, you are now responsible for, landing your ship on the landing pad, and you have to do it within a certain amount of time or you get fined. And because I really had trouble sort of understanding how all this stuff worked, it was really unfriendly and really frustrating for me. And so it became, it was hard for me to kind of really engage with those games. Now, I've since actually come to quite like Elite Dangerous, but it took a lot of effort. And what the Rebel Galaxy games, and Rebel Galaxy Outlaw in particular, does is they've got a couple of sort of lock-on features. They've got a couple of details which will let you kind of get past the sort of jousting match that happens in a lot of space combat sims. So you're not going to spend a whole lot of time sort of looking around for an enemy. You're going to be able to kind of lock on them in the general area, but there's still enough variability in the movement through that lock-on where you actually want to do some precision movements to try and get your get the aiming quite correct. I actually prefer that solution to the way a game like Elite Dangerous handles it, which is to give you the option of having some automated weaponry, which you'll tend to use to try and deal with the small adjustments. So now again, Elite is trying to solve a different problem. Elite is really trying to go heavy into the sim, whereas Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is really just kind of giving you that, giving you kind of a blockbuster version of that fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. They're both very good games, and I think I particularly like Rebel Galaxy Outlaw because of the attitude, but also because of the way that they decided to present things and basically make it easy for me to do the fun and interesting parts of being a space smuggler, pirate, ne'er-do-well, bounty hunter. Now, I'm going to take a minute here and just see where I'm at on my logs. Really? I don't actually believe that. Because I'm pretty sure I met up with my husband. Man, I'm worried that I'm in the wrong game now. Okay, tell you what, guys. I'm really sorry to delay this. I do want to take just 1 minute.
And then you demonstrate them by showing that you can get into that computer and have persistence.
This is such a terrible start to the stream. I just want to take a minute here and see if I can find the last. I know the last stream that I did of this was some time ago. But if I can find the amount of money that I'm holding on to. Okay, so I was in Sagard Refinery. Alright, this is looking, looking roughly like what it should be. And I had 1,165,413 credits, which I'm pretty sure is what I'm sitting on here. I think it was just because yeah. So I think it was just because I didn't, I think it's because I didn't have the, a mission directly from finding my husband, finally. Okay, well, let's... So, by the bay, Spanner needs 4 tons of steel, 4 tons of components to construct an equipment bay on Bountiful Vista, and Juno must negotiate a distribution agreement with an old contact in the Mississippi system. So I can't just buy it anywhere. Meet leads in the Mississippi system to discuss potential supply route to Bountiful Vista, and a matter of honor, Sharky needs a hand. Okay, so Louisiana and Mississippi. Eureka's pretty far away, but that's where Bountiful Vista... Well, okay. So I think I'll pick up any sort of... Basically, Arizona, Montana, Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana will be my... sort of my candidates for... for new jobs. Well, I could go for Dutch because of the shortcut, but I'd rather not. Alabama might work. Nope. Okay. Then last thing I'm going to do is take a look at my commodities. We're... You know what, no point in doing that. I keep forgetting I don't have the cargo space anymore. Like I said, it's been a while, so I need to reacquaint myself with... and that is with the extended cargo. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go and do those... I'm going to do those missions straight. And I will just take advantage of any stuff that I pick up over time. And of course, the real fun now is going to be getting reacquainted with the controls. Okay.
A bit of business from the private sector has come my way. Interested in earning some credits?
Could be. What's on tap?
Some watchdog work. Stop by Hobbs when you have a moment to discuss it.
Okay, so Hobbs is on my way. I think I do shields and engines because I don't need my weapons to be that that effective. Again, sorry, I'm making this game seem a lot less fun than it really is.
The Jackal.
Okay, yeah, let's just hop. So Arizona, Mississippi. Now it'll be New Mexico is the next one I'm going to be following. Let's go back to Stinger is the usual one. Alright, I think I'm mostly ready.
Autopilot disengaged by distress.
Okay, we'll definitely take that distress signal. That'll probably give me something to...
Pretty quiet around here.
Destination reached. Resources detected.
This is gonna get ugly with these mines.
Let's see here.
Okay. It's too late.
Scan complete.
So I'm just gonna dump the... Oh yeah, I gotta remember how to dump the... There we go. So at this point, I'm just gonna blast through it. I don't think... Yeah, here we go.
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity.
Okay, that's really far away. I'm not ready to do any mining.
Autopilot disengaged
Looks
by
like they're in a
distress
bit of a
signal.
fix.
I seem to be in a bit of trouble. I sure could use your help.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to avoid the, I technically don't need to be using all four to take out the mines, but I didn't think black boxes were these kinds of missions, though. Always happy for more Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Keep wanting to get this game, but you have so much to do in the first Rebel Galaxy, you can't in good conscience abandon it. Yeah, I mean, they're very different games, too. I was just talking a little bit about some of the how disappointed I was in some of the reviews, because I actually think this is a really wonderful game, and I think it
Whew. You got my thanks.
I think it keeps the
ain't
spirit
much, but I
that
hope this'll help
got
you
me
out.
into the sort of the first Rebel Galaxy, without just sort of being, you know, let's just do this same thing again, but we'll, you know, put a little more, you know, we'll take the time we spent building the first one and we'll polish some of the visuals, or like it's a game that I feel gives me the small,
I have time for this.
the individual ship level. Oop.
I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
All right.
I sure could use your help.
Well, somebody doesn't like me.
Oh, shit, ambush.
Hostile craft inbound.
Maybe I should have gone to the other radio station for the music. This is a little calm for the... Well, you know what? I think it was... It wasn't Grinder. Was it the Jackal?
I'm getting ripped to bits. Somebody help.
I gotta remember how to do my missiles. Okay, he's down.
Bounty detected.
Excuse me.
Missile inbound.
I remember how to get rid of him. Maybe it's X. Yep. Of course, we got rid of him before the missile could hit.
No!
It's gonna take us a while to get to that meat, I think.
Look at this. Easy prey.
Oh, here we go. Let's shoot the missile out. Yeah.
Well, that went better than expected. That looks interesting.
Ah, Miss Marker.
Oh god, everybody wants to give me
Xander.
jobs now.
Since my doubts about the identity of our mysterious hijackers were confirmed with your assistance, I've made arrangements to gather further information.
Okay, let's do this.
Our researchers believe, based on scans of the hijacking locations, that the ship you described is using some sort of weaponized jump gauge technology.
That's just thrilling.
Yes, I have extended an olive branch to Father Chloroform, the figurehead of the Inviolate sect. A meeting has been arranged, and you will be my envoy.
You're kidding, right?
I'm not known for it, Miss Marker. After some delicate negotiations, the way has been clear for you to visit Beauregard's chapel in the Sweetland system. There, you'll inquire further about these mysterious attacks and determine whether the Inviolate have any information which would further clarify the situation.
They're just gonna let me fly in there?
That was the agreement, yes. Don't keep them waiting. Failure to keep the appointment would have dire consequences for you.
God damn it.
Bounty received.
Stopping in for a sec to say hi. I have some work to get through, but you're still streaming. When I get done, you'll stop by again. Hope the stream goes right. Thank you, Remarkable Frisbee. I was kind of quiet there just while I was reacquainting myself with the controls, but I think I'm back in the saddle. I really appreciate you hanging out, and I hope you get more done with work than I managed to. I'm obviously really late in starting all of this. Now I think our cargo bay is full. No, we have a bit of space.
Gotcha. Better check that out.
Resources detected.
Pass by the robot modules. And this was the thing that we were originally following on the black box.
Got it.
Hold full.
Alright. Oh, I definitely want the antimatter spec, so let's ditch the religious tracts. The components aren't all that attractive either, but and the best thing I can do is probably just oh, was it the local map? I know there's another yeah, targeting mode. 3 antimatter specs. Okay. Well, we know what we're picking up.
Got it.
Hold full.
So antimatter's worth about 6,000. So clearly I can make space for them. I don't always spend the time sort of I don't spend all the time sort of agonizing over every single bit of cargo that I bring in, but there are a couple that are particularly valuable. Okay. Sweetland was where Beauregard is. So as much as I'd like to get that done right away, I'd prefer to stop by in Mississippi and get all the other work done. Other thing that I could take a look at is see if there's a spot with a good price for antimatter. In the worst case scenario, I think Montana, the Ravelli usually buys up everything. Alright, no need to think too heavily about it. Let's just head where we can.
Autopilot disengaged by distress signal. Destination reached.
I also think there have been a couple of patches since I played this game last, so there's little details that I've noticed that are either I don't remember them well or they've added in terms of a little bit of polish. But the core of the game is still very much what it is. You know, if you want to run around like a more standard space sim and wait out the distance to your destination, you can. But the thing I really like here is the autopilot option, where I hold down A to... This is also one of the few games I play with a controller, but that's more on the recommendation of the developer.
We got here.
Autopilot
Looks like trouble.
disengaged by hostiles.
Right.
Resources
Assistance
detected.
requested.
Well, doesn't hurt to have the police on my side.
No!
Missile inbound.
I don't think that cop's gonna make it.
Burning into cinders.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
I don't think I evaded it. There we go.
Missile evaded.
That's more like it. I believe those are more effective if the missile's nearby.
That's it for you.
Looks like we're in the clear.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to have a friend on the force, but sadly we were a little too late in saving him.
Destination reached.
In the face of forces you can't possibly comprehend? Do you just have an itchy trigger finger? Police force.
Inbound.
Is it someone who doesn't like me? No, looks like we're fine.
Destination reached.
Oh yeah, if Olaf isn't here, I'm allowed to use the big band and the classical stations again. I don't know, if anybody has a preference for music, I'm happy to accommodate. Okay, now I'm a little intrigued by this. Oh, because it set Beauregard as my...
Autopilot disengaged by distress signal.
Sorry about the distress signal, friend. I'm in a rush. So I'm playing this a little bit differently. Normally, if I had a full cargo hold, I'd stop by the first station that I can to try and empty out the contents. But given that there are a lot of missions that I have right now, I'm slightly adjusting that, and I'm going to be sort of focusing on getting to my main objectives, and then I'll start sort of taking my time. It's also because this kind of trade column is something that I've flown quite a bit, so it's not quite as interesting as visiting all the locations in the in a region that I haven't visited before and finding out about the money, or the trade. Make money through some
Requesting clearance.
some price information. All right, back to the concourse. So really the objective here is to, well, I can refill the one missile I fired. It's actually the main reason I don't fire missiles is I'm too cheap. Okay, so it turns out when we jettisoned the components, those would have been worth a bit. So antimatter's not quite worth... See, the thing is, a lot of this stuff really isn't worth quite as much as it could be. I think I'm willing to sit on the antimatter for a little bit, just because I think if we find a place that's got a good price for them, this thing will be worth quite a bit more. So, I guess the example I could give you here is, let's say you find a particularly good deal and it's, half off. For antimatter specs, that is a pretty significant amount per unit. Whereas if, or even like 10%, right? That's 600 for a given unit. And when your hold has, 9 slots, that means quite a bit. If you're running Red Star beer, you just don't really have that much of a hope in terms of turning a profit off of most of the stuff. It's kind of like the King on Braveheart. Arrows cost money, the dead cost not. Exactly. I am practical like the king.
was hoping I'd find you here.
Well, hell, Juno Markev, how you doing these days? Staying in trouble, I hope.
Always been a big part of my skill set. How's business on your end?
It could be a little smoother, but I don't need to bore you with my problems. We ain't little old ladies talking about our maladies.
To get right down to it, I've got a little project over in Eureka I'm overseeing, and I need an equipment distributor. I'm hoping I can get you to bend one of your supply routes that way. Is that in the realm of possibility?
Eureka, eh? That's a mite far off the beaten path.
Don't I know it?
You know, you stopping by, it might just be fortuitous. Those bumps in the road I was muttering about earlier. My supply freighters have been getting harassed lately. The Red Devil's shaking them down when they hit the lonelier stretches. It's costing me dear. Maybe if you can give me a hand with that, we can come to some arrangement. What do you say?
Seems fair. What do you need me to do?
You're a good shot and cool under pressure, always were. Why don't you tag along with one of my boys and take care of any undesirables that decide to come calling? They like to hit us between Taggart and Missouri. Say you meet up with one of my guys there and keep your eyes peeled through to Missouri.
You got yourself a deal.
Fine, fine. You just meet 'em up at the Arizona jump gate in Taggart. Best of luck. While you're at it, I'll take a look at those Eureka routes.
I'm on it. See you later, Leeds.
Okay, so we are going to need to wind up buying the steel after all. Ah, shameful. There's no gambling.
Take a load off. What can I get for you?
What do you say? Anything particularly interesting happening these days?
You're in luck. A miner came in a week or so ago talking up something worth a look out at these coordinates. Could be interesting.
Appreciate it. You got your finger on the pulse around here. Any advice?
There's a lot of old Magnum minefields sprinkled around this system. Get too close, and those suckers get attracted to your hull. A smart pilot might try to drag any hostiles through, especially if they're worse pilots. Let the mines take them out.
That is very fun to do, by the way. I'm just not the best pilot, so I tend to get tagged by a mine every once and again.
I'm hoping to make a few good trades. Got any info you might want to share?
Traders drop a hint or two on their way through. Here's what I heard.
Thanks. See you later.
Bounties are always fun to come after, but again, my quest log's really filling up. I kind of feel like getting to the point where I was talking with my husband kind of opened up all of the different threads. I was used to things being a little bit more linear, but I mean, again, it's fun. I don't really know if it's best to compare this game to stuff like Elite Dangerous, but I do, just because I like to think about the ways in which this game engaged me right away, and
Fly safe, friend.
I was a bit worried about the red that I saw, but ooh. Four tons of steel, 4 tons of components, so if I go to Arizona, yeah, I'm not going to have any steel. Ah, grim. Oh, it was back in the system I started in. I should have bought those at the end of last stream so that I could... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the original route that I had in mind, so I'm gonna go to New Mexico, then Louisiana. I'm actually going to double back. We'll do Sweetland. That's going to let me head back to Laredo and pick up the steel and components that I didn't get last time. That was Satchel, right? Another thing I'll mention for those of you who are broadcasters, one thing that's been a big talking point in terms of, you know, of doing a broadcast has been the idea of DMCA strikes. So I do like the fact that more developers have been putting in streamer-friendly modes. I will notice that on YouTube, I keep getting notifications that these videos can't be monetized. And so it feels like there is a spot where
Destination reached.
kind of it feels like there's one spot where a song is being brought in and the I don't know, the rights holder is not actually honoring the agreement that they made with the developers. But obviously for, you know, like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you're gonna feel like you're taking your life in your hands with the music that gets put in.
Oops. Told to assure you that wasn't a racial slur. Battle number 7. Some classics.
I think that's the last of them.
One other case that I run into is with Civilization 5. I really like playing that, and actually Old World.
Damn it. Just what I needed.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
There were it's a big fight.
To assist, citizen.
In the case of Old World, it just straight up said that I could not broadcast the video based on one of the songs that was in the soundtrack. Which I think to a certain extent, I'll admit, I actually sort of like this decision for some games that maybe don't necessarily want, like, I think it's actually a neat little way that some developers who maybe don't necessarily want the game to be as streamed as much, which I realize sounds a little weird, right? Like, why wouldn't you want the game to be streamed? But this is actually possibly going to be a little bit of a leveling effect in terms of developers who have games that maybe they like people to experience more rather than just watch being played. Having a particularly good soundtrack that then, potentially gets hit with DMCA strikes might be a way that, I don't know, they put enough spikes on the product. Because obviously if a developer were to come out and say, you know, could you please not stream the game, that's just going to result in a bunch of people getting upset with the developer. Anyways, I appreciate it when I didn't even realize there was a hostile nearby. Of those games that do want to be streamed, damnation. I should have been paying attention. I just wanted to fly through the gate. Of the games that do want to be streamed, the inclusion of an option that gets rid of the music that's under copyright it's very helpful, and it's one that
Craft entering the area.
I realize that developers probably want to spend some time thinking about other stuff, but in terms of the burden of responsibilities, it's actually one of these things that is better done by the developer because they know what they've got the rights to, whereas it's actually a lot of effort for someone to try and figure out whether or not a given song is okay to broadcast. We're already in New Mexico.
Dodge Patrol here. We are initiating a contraband scan. Do not deviate from your flight path.
they did Star Bright Night and they screwed up.
Contraband scan complete.
They had a really big copywritten song that was included in the streamer mode. I fortunately had a little insider information on that, and so I stopped my broadcast right before that song played. But it actually, I think it was there for like the first 3 patches, and then they finally fixed it. But if you wanted to avoid, if you want, I mean, there's always the question as to whether or not somebody's actually going to enforce the rights.
Destination reached.
I don't know if we're gonna see
Hostile craft
I got a
inbound.
bad feeling about this. Ah, God damn it.
I wound up going after the loot. The big thing is that I don't know whether or not we're going to see another large-scale set of DMCA strikes like last time.
Inbound.
Just because I think that I think what they were trying to do was really to be able to get the money off of Twitch. Because the whole thing about DMCA is that you need to respond to the request for takedown, and so I think the effort was to overwhelm the system and then basically sue on the basis of the game or the claims that weren't removed in time. So with that in mind, it's not so obvious that we're going to run into another situation where there's a game that has something that's still under copyright, but you necessarily have to deal with the same, the same kind of concern that we did earlier this year. But I mean, for those who read the blog, it's certainly not the first time this sort of stuff's come up. My view has always been that you probably should get explicit permission to be streaming other people's stuff. And that ultimately comes down to the, to the music as well.
Destination reached.
But in the case of, I think the Cyberpunk one was a pretty bad case, just because this is the developer saying that they've done the work for you, and that you have the rights to broadcast these particular songs. So really, you could have someone who's actually trying to do the right thing. And in the case of Cyberpunk, they still would have gotten the strike.
Juno, I'll get down to business. The Tennessee Mining Consortium is contending with raiders, attacking their ore processing facilities. They've contracted me to provide protection.
And you need someone on your wing? Sounds interesting.
Exactly. Are you available?
Sure.
Good. I'm sending the coordinates of the outpost to your pad. I'll meet you in Tennessee.
Oh, I gotta do 8-ball.
How about it? Can I get you something to drink?
What do you say? Got any news I can use?
There was a rumor going around about something stashed out of the way. They did let slip the coordinates. Maybe worth a look.
Because obviously you need
appreciate it.
Bigger cargo hold to start taking those, but there's nothing that stops me from
That's it for me.
putting those in the logs.
Take care.
Come on back anytime.
Pretty quiet around here.
What do you say? Up for a game of 8-ball?
Count me in.
You got it.
I didn't get to see which well, I'm solids anyway. So the orange in the corner there is probably my best bet, but let's see if we can do anything else. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever run into it, and I don't play enough pool, as will be clear in a couple minutes. No! What the? Ah!
Come on.
Sorry, the game's gonna be a still for a little bit while I sort this out. So I'll rely on Google. So WikiHow apparently has a statement. Saying the 8-ball on the break requires a skilled practice shot. The breaker, the player that breaks the rack or triangular formation of pool balls with the white cue ball, aims to knock the 8-ball into a pocket on the opening shot. In some variations of pool, singing the 8-ball on the break can lead you to an automatic victory over your opponent, but be careful not to scratch or pocket the cue ball. And then this isn't much of a guide. So it sounds like there is. It sounds like the distinction is one that's created purely by the fact that there are variants. So the answer is probably both yes and no. All right. I always thought if I pushed my trigger, that's what caused the. I was really hoping the yellow would go into.
Very nice.
I'm mostly worried about just scratching after this, but I can probably fix that. Just kiss. Oh, Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it seems like it. Starbright Knight. I've noticed this one also has a few different variants on the rules. So scratching on the 8-ball, I don't think makes you lose on this one. I might be mistaken, actually. I remember there was one where I was pretty sure about that rule for pool, and it didn't apply in this game. So I don't know if it actually explains all the rules inside of the game here, because I don't know. It's funny, like I've always been really interested when I play games. So like I obviously play a lot of games, and so I'm familiar with most conventions. But I think what really really interests me, like when I play a first-person shooter, every first-person shooter will explain how, how to climb over things and how to shoot. And it's kind of funny, like there is definitely a side of me where I'm like, really, have we not figured out how to, how to play a first-person shooter yet? But then I need to remember that for a lot of people, it might actually, or not a lot, like, because it's at such a scale, it might actually be the first time someone is experiencing a game like this. I don't, I'm not going to care about the stuff that's included in the tutorial right up to the point that I do. And then it's too late. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to hit this really hard or, we'll give it around 50. Yeah, it was the right idea, but pretty crummy execution.
Damn.
Yeah, if we could get the overlay like in the game in real life, I'd be much better at the game than I am. I actually kind of like the way that that Rebel Galaxy handles it. I feel like you're given enough to sort of have a fighting chance, but hard shots are hard shots, so you still have a feeling of accomplishment when things turn out your way. I can move this. Oh, I don't deserve to win. Fortunately, he's in the same spot as me, it looks like. Okay, the brown might be in play now. You know what? I'm gonna just hit it really hard, and that way, if nothing else, it'll create chaos. This could potentially sink the 8, but
Damn it.
I'm pretty sure that just handed it to him, but yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh, did I ever lose? All right.
Ah, damn.
To the
I think
That was a rather bad one by my standards, but I'm not gonna lock myself into the yeah, nothing there for me. You forget you could take any shot if you did not sink a ball. You got a strike, 3 strikes, you're out. Huh. Yeah, again, I probably don't know enough. Actually, I think I said this the last time I played the game, but one thing that... I still don't know how this game works, but one thing that really caught my attention was snooker on YouTube. It's just one of these ones where the algorithm just serves up something to you, and I was watching this guy, Ronnie Sullivan, who is apparently just an absolute master at the game. And it's fascinating to watch them to play. I just, again, have no idea how it works.
Destination reached. Crowd inbound.
Excuse me. I was hoping to be a little more prompt through the systems, but I don't know. I will admit I kind of feel like I need a little bit of relaxation, so I appreciate you folks hanging out with me for this this very enjoyable game. Oh, no. Apparently I had to take out those, It's because they didn't start shooting at me.
there we go. This is Juno, call sign Bandit 24, requesting clearance to land.
Yeah, I usually whenever I play a physical game, I'll hear from someone's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I'm not very good at this," and like it's basically just me watching them play at a certain point. Okay.
Take a load off. What can I get for you?
Hey, how's things? Anything happening I should know about?
You overhear a lot in here. There's a spot somewhere around this location that could be worth a visit. Don't forget the favor now.
I appreciate it. See you later.
The advice gets a little repetitive, and again, I don't really want to do any bounties, seeing as I've just got so much else to do. I'll spend a little on slots.
Yeah. So what's this emergency of honor?
I won the Laredo Billiards tournament fair and square. But the officials are saying that due to my reputation, they're gonna redo the whole tournament. That's baloney. That's my trophy, and I gotta have it.
It's a lump of plastic, kid.
It's the principle of the thing. Anyway, I'll pay for your help. My pop didn't raise a pushover.
Okay, so what are you gonna do about it? I mean, you could just have a trophy made.
Principle! Anyway, the officials are traveling from Laredo to Derringer to remount the tournament. And they're not going to arrive with my trophy.
Come on, Sharky. Spilling blood over a trophy?
Nobody has to get hurt. But I sure plan to shake 'em down to get what's rightfully mine.
Still short on... I know I checked that out before, I just couldn't remember. So eventually this is all going to wind up back to Beauregard. Oh, cool. Okay, with that in mind, then I'm actually going to visit Tennessee first.
Destination reached.
So the Laredo system is going to be where I get my steel. Yeah. Apparently, the home of one of the developers, I think it's Travis Baldry. I'm not very good at remembering which is which, sadly. Which is a shame because I realize they are two distinct people with their own interests and backgrounds.
Destination reached.
I was actually happy to see that there are a couple of Canadian names in there too. I think it was Medicine Hat was one.
I hate these jumps.
Yeah, so there's Medicine Hat. Maybe it's just the one. Yeah, it's the only one that I...
Autopilot disengaged by distress signal.
I'm sorry, autopilot.
Destination reached. Craft inbound.
This is kind of the less... I think this is the less interesting way of playing, which is to just kind of zip from mission to mission. But because I have so many of them, I sort of want to try and... okay, this time I'm not going to go crashing into the gate.
Another threat destroyed.
Yeah,
Well, that wasn't
I'll at
so
least
bad.
get the bounty. Yeah, just because the log is sort of filling up, and I mean, I'll admit too, I don't exactly need the money, so the individual bounty board, or not bounty boards,
Always gives me such a splitting headache.
the job boards don't quite hold the same appeal that they used to. So at this point here, I want to just clear out the log a little bit, and then I can go back to sort of really jumping around and exploring some of the destinations. What I am going to eventually do, though, is Tennessee. Yeah, so we haven't visited anything in Tennessee. What I should start doing is, once I get a little bit further to the kind of more extreme destinations, I should stop by the stations and just see what the deals are.
Neighbors, this here is my rock. Then swing by Bountiful Vista, the jewel of the Eureka system. Take a free tour of this fabulous...
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
Oh. I might have an invitation to meet Beauregard, but...
Lord, preserve us!
Missile inbound.
Oh, come on, shoot the thing out of the air. There we go.
Missile inbound. Bounty received. Missile inbound.
It's a lot of missiles.
Looks like we're in the clear.
Destination reached.
Okay, we're ignoring the distract. Actually, with that in mind, I can just hit it on ignore. Again, for me, a lot of the fun of this is just having the sudden adventures that pop up in space. So I do tend to like to keep the distress signals on, but it's been pretty clear that I've been ignoring them specifically so I can crash from mission to mission. That's not where I want to be.
Craft entering the area.
So I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to land in this
Destination reached.
spot.
Craft entering the area.
Looks like we have to fight them.
The processing facility is just ahead. No activity yet, it seems.
One amusing thing in space games is one thing wrong, you wouldn't hear the explosion because nothing would carry. Yes, it's a little bit like Star Wars, but I don't know. I think it's for the same
bombers and some support craft engaging.
I actually think the error is in there for the same reason that Star Wars has had the error. It's obviously so much more exciting when you have the really good sound design to sell you on the fantasy of what's happening.
Mayday, mayday. Requesting help from anybody in the area.
And I feel like a lot of it... So I've talked about this in the past, but one really influential series, of course, is the Wing Commander series, which had Chris Roberts sort of be the kind of creative principle behind that. And he's been pretty open about the fact that a lot of the games that he is known for are basically recapturing the experience of watching Star Wars with his dad when it first came out. Which to me, I mean, I was actually really happy with Star Wars Squadrons kind of coming out, because there's a lot of Jedi running around in games lately. There's quite a few games that will sort of take on that fantasy, and that's fine too, because I mean, in that case, Lucas was just sort of taking a lot of stuff that Akira Kurosawa did, and was a lot of fun to watch.
I sure could use your help.
But my understanding of when Star Wars first came out, the thing that really got everyone was maybe not necessarily Jedi and laser swords, but rather these really spectacular space battles. Oh god, I didn't even notice the capital ships. You know what? Let's deal with the ads. I don't think I'm quite ready. Ah! But yeah, I think the sort of the original inspiration for a lot of people was actually the space battles, and it's one of the things that for a while there was a bit of a winter for. You know, the new Battlefront games had a couple of moments where there was. So I just want to get a read on what we've got. Okay, so 3 capital ships and. I think at this point I'm just going to start taking out components.
End of the road.
Shields down.
Yeah, that's a really dangerous thing for me to do.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
Who's behind? Oh yeah, that was a mistake to leave my back like that.
Our shields down.
I'm coming for you.
Missile inbound.
Can't really afford to have my. Ooh, not good. I think I might die on this. Okay.
Missile evaded.
I have no idea what Satchel's doing either.
Looks like that's safely in the hole.
I was trying to spread the damage out a little bit. Oop.
Our shields down. Our shields down. Missile inbound.
That's a kill.
Systems heavily damaged. Systems critical.
That sounds like a death.
Or we don't want to see your place anyway.
Our shields down.
Yep. I was hoping to just flip the ship around. So the biggest blunder out of that, most of it I was probably able to I was able to sort of overcome some of the minor mistakes that I made out of that.
Crime to me though if you get a few misfires.
But the decision to go and try and hit the capital ship. Basically, I let them kind of burrow a hole in the back of my ship, and I didn't really. Yeah, the biggest blunder was letting the ship blow up. The second biggest blunder was letting them. Like I should have stuck with the original plan to deal with the little guys first, because I have enough. I sort of have enough in terms of shields to be able to deal with most of the threats. Anyways, we should be able to handle this.
The processing facility is just
but yeah. Anyways,
no activity yet, it seems.
you know, the Battlefront games did a fairly decent job with ship combat, but really like. I don't think it was X-Wing versus maybe it was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was like the last
Hostile craft entering the area.
the last sort of flight sim.
Missile
This ain't gonna go
inbound.
well for you.
At this point I just want to find something to shoot.
I seem to be in a bit of trouble. I sure could use your help.
Oh, the other thing is I never restored my I could have boosted the shields more than I did. So that sort of stuff really costs me just because of the amount that I lose on my shields.
Out here. I could use a hand.
Okay, this guy should be done.
Missile inbound.
I got a beat on him.
I lost my nerve and put one of the anti...
girl.
Hold still, damn it.
Missile inbound.
Oh, boom.
Let's do something a little more. Is there anything like super exciting?
Some neighborly help sure would be appreciated.
Stop trying to sell me stuff.
All right. Big band it is.
Missile inbound.
You don't even gotta come through the door. We don't want to see your place anyway. And they... Shit.
Missile inbound.
If you get a few misfires, it's a discount for a free. Son of a bitch. If you're in the Arizona area...
Mayday, mayday. Requesting help from anybody in the area.
Missile inbound.
Gotcha.
Shit.
One missile is definitely not enough for those guys. There we go. Okay, so the capital ships are kind of far away, which I'm happy about. Obviously, I still want to deal with the little guys first, though.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
Oh, screw this. I'm out. Dusted.
Okay, it might be safe to... Nope. Still one guy. Actually, it's a fairly nasty one, too.
Missile inbound.
Okay, so now we can start picking these things apart. Anyway, yeah, so it took me a while to get it out, but needless to say, I was actually really happy to see that Star Wars Squadrons became a thing. Because I don't know, like, obviously what matters to most people now is not necessarily what Star Wars originally was, or, you know, whether or not the games we're playing sort of are appropriately referencing what came before. People kind of care about what they get out of the game now. But I think all the things that made sort of ship-focused games in the Star Wars universe interesting in the first place, I think all those reasons still hold. As is kind of evident by how fun this game is. At this point, I'm just going to throw as many missiles as I can at this. This angle sucks. And looks like he's got a friend in the area, actually. Okay, get out of there. Now this is just a cleanup job. Just gonna turn my body a little bit. That angle sucks too. But at least I can take out the beam turret. All right, we didn't lose any armor.
Nothing left but dust.
I believe we've finished them off.
Not a bad day's work.
I'm transferring payment to you now. As always, Juno, a pleasure.
Take care, Satchel.
So I don't know if I'm going to be able to visit the refinery. I'm going to take a minute here and see if there's any goodies that I can pick up. I will first see if I can get steel. Alien specimens and stuff like that is fairly high value, so it is tempting to pick that up. I am going to start with the ejected pilot. One, because I'm a bit of a nice person, but number two... Okay, nope, sorry. Hope you brought a jacket. I'm pretty sure the Red Devils are not going to let me visit Jellicoe Outpost.
Autopilot disengaged by distress signal.
I thought I turned those off.
Destination reached.
So here we're basically just going to stop at the first available station. Ooh, wrong one. I think there's actually only one outpost anyway. But here this is really just a question of lots of advertising.
Let's put some more marks on the kill board.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
Was it just the two?
I think we're clear.
But yeah, so here I'm just going to empty out my cargo hold. Should also be on the lookout for
Juno
cheap
Markev
components.
coming into dock.
So the one of the things I'll say that's not, so ejected pilots are not worth that much individually, but they are very easy to turn into. They're very easy to turn into credits. So instead of having something sitting in your hold for, forever, hoping to find a good deal. You can just clear them out every station you visit. In this case, I know I'm gonna try and get the steel and components. So I'm just gonna clear out the hold space and sort of hope for the best. I will take a minute and see. I know where we can get the steel, but I am going to take a moment and see if we can get any of the components inside of these systems. It's looking pretty thin. So Seguro will give me my steel. We haven't visited Dutch or Sexton? No, we haven't. Okay, so let's visit Tombstone, Sweetland, Sexton, Dutch, and then Loretto. And we'll set
Destination reached.
The other reference I keep missing, because I haven't watched it, is Firefly. I know a lot of people like comparing this game to that, but sadly it's a gap in my viewing habits.
Destination reached.
Although in catching up on old television, I can say one series I've started watching is Band of Brothers, which I'm really enjoying. And one of the reasons I decided to finally check that out is I didn't realize there were two. I found out Apple TV Plus is bringing back that, I think it was Playtone, and I don't know if that was actually Amblin that did it. I know Spielberg was involved, but I don't know if Amblin Entertainment was involved. Anyway, so Band of Brothers and the Pacific, and they're kind of bringing back the same core group to do something on the Air War, although I do believe it will still be American focused. But I mean, it's kind of hard to fault them for the choice, right? Like, if I was in charge, I'd make it about Canadians. So
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
I realize this probably isn't that hard to do, but I do like the fact that as I'm getting closer to the capital for the Inviolates, it is the type of enemy I'm running into more. I think it's a little easier to take for granted with the pirate sectors, because in the end, you sort of expect to see pirates in lawless space, and so even if you don't recognize them as being close to pirate territory, I think the usual expectation is that you're going to wind up seeing pirates at some point in a game like this. But just to sort of have this feeling that there are different sort of zones of influence, I don't know, it's a touch that I appreciate.
I seem to be in a bit of trouble. I sure could use your help.
I think that's the last of them.
Any goodies for me to pick up?
Better check that out. Gotcha.
I'm going to assume the religious tracts are not going to be something that's worth a whole lot close to the religious capital, but
Destination reached.
still 100% margins for me.
Requesting landing clearance.
So obviously I'd love to pick up the components, but they're not available. No bars near the... So we went to Hickok just because we wanted, we did want the, we just wanted to read on what the commodities were. Now that we've got that we can head on our way. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to wind up finding the components somewhere else.
Bounty detected.
So Sexton and Dutch are still on the table. Maybe we should check out perihelion manufacturers as well.
It's pretty quiet around here. Maybe too quiet.
Destination reached.
Hey Sean, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Craft entering the area.
My urge to do Disco Elysium was put at bay by virtue of the fact that I tried to record a bit for a friend, and it was very hard not to just reduce to hysterical laughter the entire time. So I opted against broadcasting it in favor of being able to actually communicate. Sort of. I've gotten a little...
Hey folks, I'm here for a meeting with Beauregard. Xander Brust made the arrangements. Back off.
Stop shooting me!
Missile inbound.
I say again, I'm here for an arranged meeting on behalf of Xander Brust. Assholes, I'm here to talk. Check with your boss.
Feel our righteousness.
Missile inbound.
Son of a bitch, I knew this was a cock-up.
Am I allowed to shoot him yet?
Missile inbound.
Miss Markel, you are cleared to proceed to the chapel. Our apologies for the disturbance.
That's right.
I think that's the last of them.
Enter the chapel with our blessing.
Have you tried to sneak out of the... So you know how, like, you have to pay the bill at the start? Have you ever tried to sneak out on the bill? Because I just saw that today, and that was the thing that, like, I had to take a minute and get some air for. Alright, so there's nothing else for... Okay. I'm actually gonna... Maybe I'll save it for the end of the stream. It's pretty great. I think I have a video of me doing it, so... But this is Rebel Galaxy, so...
So, you must be Father Beauregard.
Dear girl, I do apologize for the rough treatment you experienced at the hands of my children. They are zealous for the Lord.
Well, they're zealous for something. Look, I don't want to waste any of your valuable time.
My time is the Lord's, and is never wasted in his service.
Yeah, so it sure looks like somebody out there is trying to pin a lot of death and destruction on the Inviolates. Well, more than they're usually responsible for, I mean.
I'm not sure I appreciate your tone. Our acts of purification are sacred, and we stand with justice. But yes, it has come to our attention that some scurrilous third party seeks to besmirch our good name. But the Inviolate do not act in the darkness. Only in the light can our worthy acts further the purposes of our Lord.
They sure are flying some of your ships, though. They kind of stand out.
Indeed. A dozen or more of our craft was stolen from us, and many brave Inviolates were cut down during the theft. Undoubtedly, these miscreants are using their ill-gotten spoils to further their own ends.
Any idea who those people were?
None. But the enemies of the Inviolate are many. And now, I believe our time is at an end.
I thought your time was the Lord's and never wasted.
Never wasted in his service. And I believe this meeting has served. Good day.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to get fried chicken at the bar? Alright, so obviously nothing to do with Chapel other than talk to Beauregard, but I am still curious as to whether or not we can stop by the manufacturing. Oh, I like this song. It kind of makes me hope that people are going to start shooting at me. Well, I mean, everybody's talking about the Colonel Sanders Lifetime movie, but obviously...
It wasn't exactly a dead end, but it didn't shed much light either. Beauregard insists it wasn't the Inviolate. He said some craft were stolen from one of their hangars.
Interesting. Then perhaps it's time for an interrogation.
Of who?
That is indeed the question. Meet me at Hedron and the Hitchcock system.
And he's gone.
I thought I was supposed to do one favor for this guy. Anyways, yeah, obviously Colonel Sanders' first cinematic appearance was in the third Matrix movie.
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity.
Okay, not an enemy though.
Destination reached.
My brothers and sisters in the void, I beseech you, in the name of the Lord.
Juno Markev, looking for a green light on a docking
On the note of Disco Elysium, I should probably say I have a really bad habit now, given that I know what the gamers are like. Whenever there is a game that I think might have a certain kind of reaction, I do now start going to the Steam forums. So in the case of Disco Elysium, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody's gonna have to say something. But actually it's surprisingly tame. There's only one locked thread where somebody's, you know, I think it's the old like, "Bah, they're communists, but they made money, so they relied on the free market for that." And I'm like, ah, yes. Clearly the one argument that the International hopes nobody notices due to its devastating rhetorical power. But yeah, I'll admit I was mildly disappointed that there weren't more people trying to cause trouble in the Disco Elysium Discord. I realize that makes me a bad person for checking. All right. And presumably there are no bars in the Inviolate manufacturing. Although, let's take a look. I don't exactly want to buy an Inviolate ship, but I'm curious if you can. No. I do believe you're not limited to this, or maybe you are limited to the standard. I feel like in the first Rebel Galaxy, you could actually get faction-specific groups, but... I wonder if they saw all the options that let you be a racist ass and thought that the game was endorsing it. Is that, yeah, I gotta think about this now. It's like, yeah, I mean, the misogyny and the racism that it lets you do, like, is it actually the fact that these people are intellectually consistent and that all that they are really looking for is that a sufficiently woke game also have sufficiently sort of, you know, what's the term that Disco Elysium uses? Antique in its sensibilities? Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely, on the negative reviews, there's a lot of people who say that the game is pretentious, which, you know, fair enough. I mean, I think if, to a certain point, if you're going to try and do something interesting, I think you always open yourself up to that criticism. I just kind of wish people would be maybe a little more specific in terms of what didn't work for them. We're not going to go to Hitchcock right away. We're going to go to Sexton to see if we can find components.
Entering the area. Destination reached.
I've only encountered 2 racists in that game, by the way. Does the third one actually grant wishes as Kim says he will? It also occurred to me this conversation is going to seem really strange to anyone who hasn't played Disco Elysium. To which my answer is, you should probably play Disco Elysium. It's on sale on the Epic Store, and you also get the discount off of it, in addition to opportunity to support this fine content that you're watching.
Destination reached.
Perhaps you strayed from where you should be.
I might as well pick up the soy paste. We're going to be stopping by a ship soon.
Missile evaded.
I kind of wanted to shoot that out of the sky, but I wasn't sure which one I was aiming for.
No.
I don't think that was enough to finish him. There we go.
Got it.
Okay, I think we only have the one. Yeah, it was Crow's Nest is our only shop.
Destination reached.
Tip of the hat to you.
Juno Markev here, requesting clearance to dock.
Again, no point in hanging on to these, and sadly, no components. Although, probably the bar would be helping me out here, so... Don't gamble.
How about it? Can I get you something to drink?
Hey, how's things?
I'll admit, actually, so... I'm pretty terrible at poker, but if there's a poker option in a game, I'm always going to take it. In games and in real life, I've never got the appeal of slots. I've seen friends of mine, like, go in front of slots and really enjoy themselves. I mean, I guess it's kind of like how I thought about idle games or clicker games. You know, it's just something that didn't quite connect to me. I took Universal Paperclips to finally get me into clicker games. But I do know blackjack is one that's tough for me to I mean, I don't really go to a lot of places where it's being played, but that's the one where if it's a video game and there's a poker table, I'm probably gonna wind up wasting a bunch of time there. And in real life, if it's blackjack, then that's probably gonna be where I feel the... Yeah, which is good. I mean, I'm assuming it's kind of funny, right? Because obviously, real slots are still very addictive, and or can be, you know, on their own. I mean, I think it is the actual money component that's probably really driving that. But you're right. Like, it's kind of interesting that something that is fairly notorious for being habit forming enough to to require regulation has to be tweaked to be more appealing to people who play play virtual versions of them.
I'm hoping to make a few good trades. Got any info you might want to share?
I've been known to trade on the market myself from time to time. Here's what I'm interested in right now.
Actually, I don't know much at all.
Oh, yeah? What's going on around here?
You know, I did hear a rumor about something. Some old spacer came in, shooting his mouth off. You might want to take a look at these coordinates.
Thanks.
Ah, yes. I'm actually reading Tynan Sylvester's book on game design. It's neat. Like, one of the things I like about that book is that it talks about game theory. So when I hear developers talk about game theory, it's usually in the reference of has nothing to do with games, don't bother learning it. And I realize I kind of need to stay in my own lane, but I always felt that was a bit of an oversimplified perspective, because I'm going to sort of talk on my own side. I've only just started those parts of the Sylvester book, but my view is that, like, most of the time that I'm dealing with game theory, I'm dealing with sort of these agents which have, knowledge of a set of rules, and they're trying to optimize for certain outcomes. And this is, they use the term game for a reason. That's kind of what people are doing inside of a game. And so as far as I'm concerned, as sort of an intellectual framework, it could potentially be something that gives you some insight in terms of, well, again, it depends on the questions that you're asking, but I'm not entirely sure that the view that game theory is irrelevant to game design is necessarily the right perspective. On the other hand, I also think it's fair to say that it's not the easiest thing to learn well. I'm pretty sure pretty much everybody knows the prisoner's dilemma, and probably most people could understand a Nash equilibrium without too much prompting. Out of curiosity, has anybody seen the movie A Beautiful Mind? I can't show the clip, obviously, but there's a fairly famous example of John Nash explaining his big contribution, and they completely fail to actually present a proper Nash equilibrium in the scene. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think you can make an argument to say it's that people who want to design games don't necessarily have to learn game theory, because it's a little bit like saying, if you want to design games, you should learn, linear algebra. Just being able to do, to do a whole bunch of, manipulations on vectors and matrices, is that very helpful for game design? Clearly, if you're somebody who's responsible for the rendering engine, chances are you know that very well. If you're trying to solve problems like, how do I make this slots game more interesting? Or, players always seem to keep dying in this part of the map. What's the deal? Oh, there's this really good sniper column. Okay, let's put a mountain in front of that so that they can stop getting the easy shot on the, on the targets. Maybe you don't necessarily need to understand a lot of complicated math for that stuff. But still, I don't know. I've only ever heard, in terms of game theory, I've always ever heard don't bother learning it, and I've always felt that's not quite getting that's not quite being honest with someone, because it is something that I feel like people can take away some useful insights from. Okay, so Dutch is our last hope to find some components.
location reached. Craft entering the area.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to bring up the Sylvester book because of game theory. I really liked some of the psychology bits and sort of what you were describing about sort of coming up with systems, or alternatively, you know, finding the patterns in terms of, imposing a pattern on what you've been seeing and sort of either creating a story or creating sort of an experience out of that. It's stuff that I've sort of known kind of tangentially, but I haven't ever really thought of it in terms of a gaming context, and it's something that, I mean, it's kind of like any model. It's gonna fit for one set of games and maybe not so well for some of the other ones. I'm not crazy about all of the examples in that book, if I'm completely honest, but as a whole, I thought it was a really helpful way of thinking that I hadn't really considered before. Which is why I read books.
I can't get these bastards off my ass. Some neighborly help sure would be appreciated.
I'm trying to get into the habit where if people are talking about being in distress, I find the one that's talking on the map and head after the person who's attacking them. I don't see where my missile went at all.
Come on. Shit.
Bounty detected.
Alright, precious components.
Bounty detected.
Sadly, it looks like that's all there is in the area.
Just what I needed. A gaggle of shitheads.
I just want to get to the base.
Disengaged by craft proximity. Missile inbound. Craft entering the area.
There's that jousting match I was talking about. The game doesn't eliminate it. It doesn't eliminate it. It's just, oh, there were components there.
Gotcha.
Leave me alone. I want to steal your stuff.
Mayday, mayday. Requesting help from anybody in the area.
The game doesn't completely eliminate them, but it definitely helps by giving you an option to sort of lock in. It also doesn't help that I try to go as fast as I can in most encounters.
Come on, Juno. Gotcha.
It's actually maybe also worth mentioning there is I think it's called Sim mode. Anyways, it's basically if you're someone who played, you know, Wing Commander from #1, and as far as you're concerned, all developments that are not graphical developments in game design have been just a constant, tainting of the perfect experience that was gaming from the 80s or 90s. There are a few different levels of difficulty in the game, which will actually disable all of the assistance. All right, there's a chance that this guy might be holding components, so.
for a little bounty hunting?
No, leave me alone.
Maybe, if I can find a few spare minutes to rub together.
If so, join me on Hobbs for a rundown. I look forward to seeing you.
Craft
See you,
entering the
Satchel.
area. Destination reached.
This is Juno, call sign Bandit 24, requesting clearance to land.
Still no components. Okay, so Austin wants to buy them. Usually that means the rest of the system doesn't have them, but... Boulder Tech I can't see having components. Juarez is flawless. I will admit, one thing I'd kind of like in this game would be an option to just take a look at what's being produced by systems, because I tend to wind up waiting on this screen for it to cycle. Ravelli is a marketplace, or sorry, a consumer marketplace, so they don't produce anything. I keep forgetting it's ceramics at Chinook Refinery. Right, the casinos only buy, they don't sell. And we've already tried up here. Oh, Missouri, of all places. Okay, that's slightly inconvenient for me, but what I'll do... so we'll pick up the steel in Loretto. We'll also finish the mission there. We'll go to Taggart to clear out the... Oh, you know, that'll actually work pretty well. So we'll go... the only thing that won't get done is the mission in Hitchcock, but that's fine because the guy's a jerk. So yeah, we'll help out Sharky, we'll clear out the bad guys in Taggart on the way to Missouri. Missouri's where we'll pick up the components, and then we'll take them all to Eureka.
Hi there. Take a seat.
What do you say? What's going on around here?
Yeah, I heard something a little juicy. Supposedly there's something worth checking out around these coordinates. Maybe worth your time to investigate.
I appreciate it. Any local events of interest to somebody looking to buy or sell?
I keep tabs on how the market is moving. Listen to this.
Thanks. See you later.
Thanks for coming in. You take care out there.
Alright. I have to do the dice poker,
what are we
though.
playing for?
Dice poker is the game. Shall we play?
What have I got to lose?
Wonderful. Shall we begin?
What have you got?
It's 2 pair, huh? No! God damn it!
Come on.
That's bad. I should have... It's obviously been a while. I thought it was the other way around.
For my skill at this game.
Which ones to keep as opposed to reroll, so...
Sure, that sounds pretty good.
Wonderful. Shall we begin?
Let's see what you got.
Now I'm going to be kind of conservative, but I think this isn't. I actually don't think this is the right choice.
Let's see here.
Oof.
Come on.
I was going to say, are you allowed to do a roll like that where you just drop it on the tray?
I've plenty.
Yeah, ready to play.
I still think it's too early to lock in the two pair like that, but
nice.
God damn. Again.
Yeah, why not?
A battle of wits and luck. Zandesto.
Ready to play?
I just need a chiptune soundtrack, and that's like playing Dicey Dungeons all over
here.
again. I'm kind of locked into. We're both trying to get the same thing, but I knew I had the higher.
Gazzo Van Diesel. Might I suggest a rematch?
What have I got to lose?
Perfect. I look forward to it.
What have you got?
Yes, yes.
I think I'm just gonna try and collect jacks. Oof. That didn't help me.
I'm sure it was only a momentary lapse of fortune. Shall we play again?
Too rich for my blood. Sorry.
A pity. Perhaps another.
I'll admit, I actually don't have anything else to do with the money, so, and I am a degenerate gambler, so. I like the background. Neither do I. It might just be. It might just be because it's the heuristic. It might just be that it's a little bit more easier for people to do the mapping from familiar hands to.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
Symbols. Then again, I mean, I guess also for at least the dice games that I've played in Meat Space, I know they kind of try to justify their price tag or their existence as a commercial product by putting like a special. So like I'm thinking, I think it's called Zombie Dice is an example of one of these. Like they have a few different dice where it's all brains on them. In practical terms, there's really nothing saying that you couldn't do that game on standard 6-sided die and then just say certain ranges of outcomes. But at that point, you just say, it's like, well, I got a lot of board games at home, why don't I just play it with the 6-sided? Oh, yeah. Nope, that steel's welcome. Not as welcome as the components, but... Then again, I'm also not entirely convinced that the analogy of zombie dice to what is this thing I'm looking at? Iron ore, not worth it. To dice poker is really the best one. So. Now that you've
Destination reached.
now that you've designed your, I actually still have a copy of the flu rules in my backpack. I expect you to come up with a dice game to take the world by storm. You're only allowed to use platonic solids, though.
It's like getting hit by a truck.
Craft inbound.
I'll allow you to move outside of
Missile inbound.
Sure end awaits, but it will also be a new beginning.
Gotcha.
Craft inbound.
You devastated playing card poker game last week. I'll have to remember dice for next. Oh.
Looks like that's safely in the hold.
Wait, really? Oh, that's right.
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity. Resources detected. Destination reached.
So I'm heading to the... I'm not actually going to go through the warp gate, but I'm heading to the warp gate because that's where we'll...
Dodge Sector Traffic Control, your request is granted. Please proceed to the designated bay.
That's where we'll intercept the trophy. Just enough. Cool. So I just need 2 components and then we're good.
Hi there.
What do you say? Got any news I can use?
There was a rumor going around about something stashed out of the way. Perhaps worth a look.
Thanks. I'm hoping to make a few good trades. Got any info you might want to share?
I keep up on the market. This is what's happening right now.
That's what, most of the trading advice I get is what I already see on the map. But again, we don't have the cargo space to really do anything except insanely high margin items or ones that are for quests, so... Doesn't mean that I won't check it out, though.
Nights of vital black. A cold wind blows me down the track.
Destination reached. Craft inbound.
That's the transport the officials are on. So you want to take the lead on this? I don't want to come across as needy.
Seriously?
Well, your voice is more commanding.
Hey, folks. Seems like there's been some sort of official mix-up, and God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And there's a trophy that belongs to a friend of mine on that ship. Maybe you could just kick it out the nearest airlock.
You can't be serious.
I'm afraid so.
Hostile craft entering the area. Hostile craft inbound.
Juno? Looks like we've got company.
You'd best just clear off.
Missile inbound.
I think I got them all.
I gotta have that trophy.
Kid, that's a fully armed destroyer.
Well, say we just knock out the turrets. No big thing.
Missile inbound.
Really? I should have stayed.
I gotta take out the
Forward shields
the
down.
ads first. We have taken out a destroyer before. I don't know why we just have to take out the turrets.
Missile inbound.
Got it.
He died for a pool trophy.
Bounty detected.
I do have sort of least favorite turrets, but I think in this case here I'll just I'll work with what I've been given. Okay, beam turrets are among those ones I'm not fond of. So this is when you hold B, by the way. You can sort of turn around.
A couple more.
That's a rotten angle. Oh yeah, actually, I think one of the reviews I read was complaining that you couldn't do this. You totally can. Pretty sure that's all the turrets. I'll do one last pass, but I'm guessing they probably just want me to take it out after. Nope, that sounds like... yeah.
That's all the turrets.
Look, folks, I'd really love to be done with this. That cruiser is defanged, and I just need that trophy. For God's sake, it's just a lump of plastic. Can we just call it a day?
Well, she's going to town on it still.
Here's the trophy, and you can tell that little miscreant that she's never welcome at another tournament in this entire sector.
As long as I got what's mine. You want to grab that for me?
Live from the Colorado system, this is Subspace 76.2, and I'm your wingman.
Gotcha. Got it.
Let's get gone. See you back at Lafitte.
Mission complete.
Now, one might say... where is it? One might say 75 cap... ah, you know what? 75 is a nice round number. You know what? I'm going to leave that destroyer alone. Oh, wait a minute. She's going to want me to visit her back in Louisiana. Ugh, that's another thing that's in my cargo forever. Okay, on to Taggart.
Destination reached.
I'm always a little sad that I'm not in combat whenever this song... or sorry, I'm always a little sad when this song turns on and I'm not in combat.
That always gives me such a splitting headache.
Craft inbound.
I should see what stations there are in the area, actually. I need some repairs.
Craft inbound. Destination reached.
Docking request received. Automatic landing sequence initiated.
This is I can sometimes get by without doing much in terms of repairs, but the specific mission we're heading to is one to clear out the riffraff. So. Plus, we might be able to do more gambling. Not really.
Buckle up.
Destination reached. Craft entering the area.
Someday this thing's just gonna shake itself apart.
Goddamn, I love my job. Randall Vance here, and it's a privilege speaking to all you hard-working folks out in the great.
Be heading to Arizona,
this
don't I?
Is the Stinger.
Why is it telling me to go to Derringer?
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
There's too many for me.
See, I gotta help that Dodge Trooper because he might actually be Guillaume de Melon.
Inbound.
Did not decline an offer of assistance.
I'm trying to find the ones that are closest to the target because I've noticed the police are quite a bit more fragile than I am. Which often works to my benefit, but not when I'm trying to save them.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
Yeah, I'm a little too hot on that. Okay, so they're both focusing on me. It doesn't really matter.
Missile inbound.
You will regret that.
Got it.
Bounty received.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
Oh, looks like the cop. Cop didn't make it either.
Hold full. Destination reached.
Oh, hey there.
I've always wondered if these lighter shielded ones are because they're the... Actually, we can find that out. Oh no, it looks like I'm... So it might be because I'm actually going on a more dangerous route.
That always gives me such a splitting headache.
This is the Dr. Sander's best station, the kind of music your mama warned you about. Stay with me here on the Stinger, 76.2.
Ah, so those of you who've played the original Rebel Galaxy have probably heard this particular song. Well, depending on how much you played, you've probably heard it more than you'd care to remember.
Destination reached.
I'm still glad they brought it back.
Craft entering the area. Missile inbound.
Oh, shit!
Oh, that wasn't enough to...
Craft
No, maybe it was. Nope, he's still standing. There we go.
Bounty received.
Okay, so we should be ready to go on the... So again, the reason we're doing the Taggart mission is so that we can get a supplier for the equipment bay we're going to build in Bountiful Vistas. And then we need components and steel to actually build the equipment bay. So the supplier comes from the mission. The
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity.
the bay itself will come from acquiring those last two components.
Juno Markev here. Sounds like you boys need an extra set of eyes.
Glad to have the assistance, ma'am. Lead said we should sit tight until you showed. When you're ready, fly on over and pair up with us, and we'll get moving.
You got it.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
All right, here we go.
Hostile
There
craft
they are,
inbound.
right on schedule. Red devil bastards. We sure do hope you're up to a firefight.
Craft
Nope, I came totally unprepared. Actually, screw it. Who's attacking the convoy? I could probably handle a few shots coming after me.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Time to die.
Missile inbound.
Juno, what are you, blind?
So again, the more of these things that I collect for myself, I'm reasonably happy. Because I kind of have the defensive capability to be able to handle it. But if they swarm one of the cargo ships, it's not so good. Looks like they already got one of them.
Come on.
Missile inbound.
It's too late on the countermeasures.
This is the end of the road.
Yeah. Shit. You're nailed.
There are not a lot of those escort ships, or ships that I was escorting around anymore.
Damn it.
Craft entering the area.
Okay, so most of them should be focusing on me at this point. Or at least they used to be.
Crap.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
God, Juno, what are you, blind?
I think there's just one more left.
check that out.
Bounty received.
Looks like that's the last of them. Whew! We sure are glad you were along for the ride. Fly on over and pair up. Let's put this system in the rear view.
Will
Okay,
do.
before we do that, I'm just going to take a minute here. Oop, not local map. Targeting mode. Good God. Okay. I just want to see if there's any components.
Destination reached.
Thanks again for the assist, Miss Markev. We sure do appreciate it. We'll put in a good word for you with Leeds.
Fly safe, boys.
I just got the all clear from that freighter. Good as your word, just like always. I think you can count on that supply route taking a detour into Eureka, Juno. Pleasure doing business again.
Mission
Thanks,
complete.
Leeds. I'll drop in for a beer next time I'm in Mississippi.
So Missouri is going to be where I get my components from. It's also a connection to Eureka, which is where Bountiful Vistas are. So should be able to get that. I actually think when I started this mission, I said, oh, maybe we can find components from a more, maybe we can find them in a cheaper spot. Turns out the answer was no. Right. This is one that always makes me a little mad, because I spent so much ammo on the front, but I know in the end I'm not going to be able to take it out. Because it takes so long for me to reload my ammo, if I can take them out on the first pass, it works really well. And if I don't, then it usually means I need to wait the time to reload to be able to get enough to finish the job. One thing that I could do to improve that would be to stagger the shots. But the problem I have with that is that I tend to find not every bullet hits in that case.
Hello there.
The way I've got things set up right now are kind of an all or nothing proposition. So if I really screw up the aim, that's on me. Whereas if I have it sort of firing on a rotating basis, then a lot of those intermediate moves that I make are going to be ones that result in hits not happening. And the whole idea behind this build is I do as much damage as possible in the shortest period of time. Also, it's pretty easy on the power.
They're tearing me up out here. I could use a hand.
So it won't let me dock until I clear out the riffraff. Components? So under normal circumstances, I'd actually be able to come back out and pick those up. But my hold's going to be full with the steel and components.
Docking request received. Automatic landing sequence initiated.
Cool.
Take a load off. What can I get for you?
Hey, how's things? Anything particularly interesting happening these days?
You know, I did hear a rumor about something. Some old spacer came in, shooting his mouth off. You might want to take a look at these coordinates.
Thanks. I'm hoping to make a few good trades. Got any info you might want to share?
Sure, I keep up on the market. This is what's happening right now.
Huh. Gotta run.
Thanks for coming in. You take care out there.
Now, I'm not going to say this 8-ball performance is going to be any better than it was last time, but...
You up for a friendly little game?
Sure, that sounds pretty good.
You got it.
I need to reclaim my honor.
Oh, man.
I still gotta learn how gentle I need to be on these, but it doesn't help that my controller's doesn't quite have the... Yeah, let's try 27. I suck. Not as much as he does, though. Nope, I really suck. Now the computer's just doing me favors. I'm probably going to regret doing this, but I'm actually going to try and make it happen with the red.
Nice.
Ah! Pushed the wrong button, sorry.
Here. All right.
I'm not sure this is going to do what I think it does, but I want to try.
Uh-huh.
I was a little worried that I might hit the stripe, but I couldn't quite see it. So this will probably be a bigger defeat than last time, but I'll feel better about it for some reason, because I don't know. This is a bit of a rout. I could try the blue, but let's see if I can make it happen with some of the others. I don't think physics works the way I want it to with green, so... Ooh, I don't know what happened there. So the problem here is I think this just winds up bouncing off the side of the table. Yeah.
Huh. That's the way.
Well.
Destination reached.
It's like get hit by a truck.
Craft entering the area. Destination reached.
Welcome to Bountiful Vista, the jewel of the Eureka system.
Alright, so Spanner should take the gears that I just gave him. I prefer it looking like this. And that population of 1 is not me, by the way. I believe that's Spanner.
How's it going? Have you got the materials I requested for construction of the bay?
All right, I've unloaded that steel.
Excellent. Let me know when you've made an arrangement.
All right, I've unloaded those components. I think that's everything.
Indeed it is. I'll get started on construction, and I'll let you know when it's complete. I'm positively electrified. This is magnificent.
Alright, so I think I'm probably at the point where I want to think about wrapping up. I think I'll stop by, I'll turn in with Sharky, and then we can still see if,
Lock and load.
we'll see if, maybe see if Xander's mission. So Hitchcock is out of the way. Oh, that's right, we've also got Hobbs' mission. Alright, well that's fine. We'll still go to Louisiana first, because I'm just turning in something there.
Autopilot Pilot disengaged by craft proximity.
And
Destination reached.
I'll try
Craft inbound.
and wrap up with the mission.
Craft inbound.
Sorry to skip all the cinematics, but I don't want to spend too much time jumping between the systems.
Destination reached.
So this is maybe another example in terms of the contrast between Elite Dangerous and this game. So part of the simulation of Elite Dangerous is the fact that you can't do stuff like this. You do have fast travel modes, but if you decide to go, way the heck out in the middle of nowhere, that's kind of on you to head back. And so part of the experience, it's kind of like the ultimate Iron Man, where you have your one save, which will be with, attached to your account. Whereas in this one, again, if you want to go and if you want to do some trading, that's fine. It's not that hard to switch ships and get something that can handle large hauls. But then if you want to, let's say, if you want to if you want to go into combat, it's not that hard to find it, and you can sort of jump between the different places where those options are going to be more or less likely without too much trouble. So they're both Sims, but they're both Sims in sort of a different. Different sense.
Yes, ma'am. My trophy. All's right with the world.
You need a new hobby.
I was really hoping they'd show it.
Stick with what I'm best at. Here's a chunk of change, Juno. Can't thank you enough.
You've unlocked a buddy character. Would you like to make them your new active buddy? You may change your active buddy by visiting them at their home station. That's fine. I didn't realize that was a loyalty mission. For some reason, I've grown quite attached to Richter, our first companion, and I don't use them that often. So.
Destination reached.
If you've got some heads to knock together, I've got the tracks to back it. Randall Vance for the stinger.
Just what I needed. A gaggle of shitheads.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
Let's change the beat.
McPermy, there seems to be a lot of cutscenes. Can you turn them all up? So this actually came up when I first started playing at Big Permy. The reason why you're seeing the cutscenes, they're something that have been added inside of the game to sort of speed things up. So I'll give you an example of some of your travel options. So right now I want to go to... so I want to head to... Wait, is this right? Yeah, Hob Station. Actually, this is a good one. So,
this might be worth a listen.
oh wait, no, not this one. So I want to get to Hob Station. I can do. Well, actually, here's what I'll do. So I'll show you the cutscene version. So when I move towards, when I go to the station, so I have this option right now that's, actually, you know what, I can do both. So let's say I didn't want the cutscene. Let's say I wanted something that was a little bit more like Elite Dangerous. I can hold the right bumper, and that'll trigger warp speed.
You need to get topped up. You need to keep some unsavory types
now,
out
all
of
the
your
things
noggin
that
later. You get
Advertising everywhere.
There we go.
So there will be stuff that happens there. You might have seen over this playthrough a couple of times where the you know, it says stop because of ship proximity or stop because there are hostiles in the area. All of that stuff's still going to trigger, but this is how you would sort of normally travel, either in a spaceflight sim like this or in or inside of Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Now I'm going to stop this because we're getting close to our destination. I'll be honest with you, like, when I think of the fantasy of being a Han Solo-like character, I don't really think about waiting for warp speed to finish. I tend to want to get on with it. Yeah, you might actually be the same person. I couldn't remember the name, but yeah, so the cutscenes are basically a result of me doing the autopilot button, which if I hold and hit A, then you get to see that.
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity.
So that I would have run into had I continued on with the it. So effectively, the cutscenes that I'm running into are something I'm opting into because it's pretty easy for me to hit the A button and say, you know, I've seen this cutscene enough. I'm ready to move on. But I suppose for me the reason why, instead of just giving you a simple yes or no, you absolutely can skip the cutscene. I don't believe you can turn them off. Although let's take a quick minute and see if there's something in the settings.
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, so landing transitions, I'm pretty sure if I turn that off.
Is anybody really out there? If you're out there, give me a call. It's Fargo for Backbeat.
So this will be an interesting test because I know going into autopilot isn't a landing transition. Okay, so that's me letting the cutscene run. I'm pretty sure the cutscene for landing isn't going to apply now that I've turned that off in settings, though. Yeah, in that case. Obviously, they put me... There's a small animation on this screen, but I can just hit directly into the concourse. So effectively, the only cutscene that seems to be something you manually need to skip out is when you choose to do autopilot. And for me, it's just easier to do autopilot because I kind of want to get to my destination right away. But it's probably, for me at least, it's probably worth mentioning that, like, the number of cutscenes that seem to be stacking on top of each other is a result of the way that I'm playing the game, as opposed to it being something that's sort of inherent in the experience. Plus, I think the game looks good, so I kind of like watching this stuff, but it's, yeah. Anyways, I hope that gives you a little bit more of a clear answer than I gave last time, Big Permy.
So, a straight-up bounty this time, eh?
Indeed. Kasha Donar is a notorious gangster, responsible for many financial losses throughout Dodge. A group of concerned corporations have assembled a significant bounty to ensure she is taken off the board.
Where was she last seen?
She's been recently spotted in the Dakota and Gore systems, pirate-infested territory. My Spider's Web reported movement there recently. Can I count on you to join me in Dakota?
You got it.
I'll meet you there. Come armed.
Here it comes, friend.
You'll ask about it again in a year or so.
Planted these babies, and they're just about to.
Oh, that's right on my way. So in this one, I'll maybe just for the for interest. On the way to Dakota, I'll skip all the transitions.
Hope you wrote up a will this morning.
Destination reached.
The Church of the Inviolate repudiates your wickedness.
Maybe I was just investigating the jump gate. It's kind of unkind of him to assume that I was going to use it.
Juno, it's complete. The equipment bay is ready for your use, and equipment is already being shipped here. Please stop by and enjoy the fruits of our labor at your earliest convenience.
I'm more interested that Bounty Vista Garage sells special weaponry not available. Okay, I was curious if it was gonna give me special stuff, but I was actually also curious to see whether or not he gives me another mission. Oh, sorry, I said I was gonna skip all the transitions just to see how quickly I could do it.
Shake itself apart. Well, look what we got here. A couple of assholes.
I wonder if I can just skip
Autopilot
this.
disengaged by hostiles.
Yeah. They're not gonna let me pass, so.
Feel free to assist, citizen.
I don't get to admire it that much as part of the play, but for some reason my
You want something to take the edge.
sorry, my left trigger is not
smooth. Something smooth.
There we go.
Number 7. Whiskey. Crafted. Target eliminated.
Nothing left but dust.
Recipe for centuries.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
They can't actually materialize, but they sure can make it. Here's Grantham Rovar, President and CEO of Old
I seem to be in a bit of trouble. I sure could use your help.
And lo, when I was crippled, he lifted me up.
That's one down.
Bounty received.
Lord, preserve us!
All right, so between hitting autopilot and then seeing the cutscene, it's as quick as that for the transition. But I don't know. I probably just value the mental rest. It is kind of late, so. That's a fairly mild curse for somebody about to die in a fireball.
Phew.
Destination reached.
I just want to make sure that I have that I've already been to these markets. So I'm pretty sure it's the Dakota jump gate. No, actually, I gotta meet him in Dakota. Never mind. I was thinking that it's the jump gate that might be where we get the target, but... Now, the one problem with the way I've approached this is that I might have a long trip ahead of me when it comes to saving.
Craft entering the area.
So if this bounty doesn't turn out the way I was hoping.
Destination reached. Craft inbound.
She's not here, but it looks like we've run into trouble nonetheless. Let's clean up this mess, and I'll see if I can scan for an exit trail.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
Pretty sure that satchel also wrecking this guy, but...
This day just keeps getting better and better. Well, that wasn't so bad.
Resources
I think that's the
detected.
last of them. That's the fragrance of Belgium.
I'm performing a quick scan. Exhaust traces consistent with her craft exited the area in this direction. I'm plotting a course to intercept. Follow me.
That's a lot of guys.
Destination reached.
There she is. Tasha Donar. Surrender now and we will not be forced to eliminate you. I can guarantee you will not be harmed.
Craft
Go to hell,
inbound.
Rust Bucket. Charming.
Missile inbound.
So I took a look at quite a bit of damage at this start. Oh.
Quickly, we must pursue. Looks like she jumps the floor. We must follow.
Yeah, I don't think there was any way for us to make that happen.
3 tons of steel, cables, and creator issues come together in one titanic clash. Sparks will fly. Oil will be spilled. And one or more limbs.
Destination reached.
Tickets available on entry. Kids get in free.
Don't fret, little one. This will all be over soon.
Craft inbound.
No, this is unacceptable.
Missile inbound.
No.
Craft entering the area. Craft inbound. Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
I will admit too, in a couple of cases I've noticed if I really start piling on the sort of the little transition, or like if I keep skipping the transitions a lot, I do tend to notice that there's a bit of a black, like the black loading is a little bit longer than it normally would be, so I think, now it could be that I don't have this loaded in my solid straight. It's not noticeable unless you like look for it, but I do think that if I really push it, I do wind up having to wait for the game to load something anyway. Although I wouldn't think it's the same length of the transitions. But yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, it's pretty clear when I just want to get across the galaxy, and especially if I have ignored or break for distress signals on, I tend to see that animation a lot. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to skip it in that case, but every once in a while it doesn't hurt to...
Looks like I found you.
Okay, so let's find her.
Thanks for coming to the party. Ah, damn it. She let us into a trap.
Hostile craft.
I'm basically just going to ignore everything but the target. At least for the start.
Hold full.
Only the cleverest must survive.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
My backside's looking a little rough. Okay, I gotta think about my position right now. So yeah, that's the problem with the approach that I took, is that now I'm surrounded and I don't have
Shields down.
a good approach for getting those shields back. Let's put everything in shields.
Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
So the density's kind of heading after me here.
Missile evaded.
I can't.
Shields down.
Oof. I can't avoid it all, but the best I can hope for is to
Shields down.
take out the sort of the worst offenders.
Shields down. Aft hull breached.
I'm gonna lose almost certainly.
Systems heavily damaged. Systems critical.
Yeah. So we accomplished what we were looking for, which was to take out the target, but I let myself get swarmed.
Let's see here.
Fortunately, they were nice enough to leave us outside Gore.
Destination reached. Craft inbound.
Time to get into it.
Autopilot disengaged by hostiles.
Oh, this isn't where I want to go. How you doing, Uncle Cranky? I notice you're on to Far Cry
I found you.
number 5 now.
Thanks for coming to the party. Ah, damn it. She let us into a trap.
Okay.
Hostile craft inbound. Missile inbound.
Sorry, my trigger's sticky again.
You're as good as dead.
Just like that, safely in the hold.
Forward shields down.
So I'm okay with forward shields going down, just because I know I can turn and run for those cases. It's the aft shield that really hurts me.
Missile evaded.
And Happy New Year to you. I hope you've had a good one so far.
Missile inbound.
Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained due to combat. From the tropics of Africa to South Pacific to the Himalayas, and the journey ends in Montana. At least until number 6 comes out. Alright, I was asleep at the switch. I'm still going to focus on this lead, but... Oh, that might work for me, actually. Yeah, we're still going to focus on them, but I'll be able to get some of the damage to the front. Okay. Good news there.
Friends, this is Jimmy the finest selection in the Texas system.
Missile evaded.
This enterprise is doomed.
You're the sell this quality merchandise at such unbeatable prices?
But is he the villain? Maybe he's just a deeply misunderstood man. Okay. At some point, presumably we took out the target. But yeah, at this...
There we go.
I'm a little happier with how this went without...
Missile inbound.
I've had this controller since I first played Dark Souls. I got it specifically so I could first play Dark Souls. So it's getting a few years old now, but I have an Xbox controller as well, so presumably I can hook that up to the PC. I'll split the difference and I'll say Central America. It's my final offer. Is it an actual country that they've set it for, or is it sort of a fictional nation like in, what was it? Dying Light. I don't think the city that Dying Light takes place in has existed for a few thousand years. Okay.
I've confirmed the
fictional nation like Montana.
Excellent work, Juno. I do appreciate your level-headedness.
Looks like we're in the clear. Getting a little singed, though.
I'm transferring payment now. Until next time, Juno.
Yeah, until next time.
So let's see if we can find a place to dump the,
Objective complete.
Let's dump the goods that we just got.
All right, here we go.
Oh yeah, fair point. That's like a theocracy in Far Cry 5, isn't it? Does that seed fellow call himself the Pope? Because honestly, I think if you're gonna create your own religious community, you need to get the perks.
Randall Van Seed, you're listening to the Stinger 76.
Bounty detected. Craft entering the area.
I was a little disappointed I didn't get that one because it's the that was a bounty. I think we should be able to dock though. No?
Docking
Yeah, there we
request
go.
received. Automatic landing sequence initiated.
Also, it's a bunch of Canadians making the Far Cry games, so now you get to see what we really think about the rest of the world. We may be a middle power, we may be known for our abilities to negotiate, but once you take a look at the cultural products, what are we making? Far Cry, Outlast, Darkest Dungeon, The Long Dark. Yeah, nothing else for us to pick up. The Skag, I mean, it's a decent enough margin for someone who's only got 9 hold spaces, but where am I going to sell it, right?
Can I get you something to drink?
What's the news around here?
There was a rumor going around about something stashed out of the way. Perhaps worth a look?
I appreciate it.
The Long Dark is a bit more obviously Canadian in its content. I haven't actually played it yet.
Take care of yourself.
What the hell am I doing here? I'm supposed to be heading to the next... I'm actually kind of glad that Satchel gave me the money for that bounty as opposed to the... as opposed to dragging me back to his home base to pay me. The only thing that weirds me out a little bit about these companion missions are that I already have the option of getting bounties from other sources. Like if I wanted to go bounty hunting, there's nothing really stopping me from talking to a bartender and saying, hey, are there any bounties in the area? So I'm not 100% sure why they wanted to give me those priorities from companions. But, I mean, it's sufficiently diverting. I'm not mad that I went on that mission. I'm still convinced I can outrun these guys.
Destination reached. Craft entering the area. Autopilot disengaged by distress signal. Resources
Did I? I
detected.
forgot to turn that off. By the way, I hope you all noticed the discipline. I haven't gone into photo mode once this session. I might have gone into some ill-advised gambling, but so far I've been able to resist the siren call of photo mode, which is great, by the way.
I hate these jumps.
I got a couple of photos I'm really proud of out of this game.
Destination reached. Bounty detected.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned... I mean, it's not funny you mentioned Giancarlo Esposito because he's in Far Cry. But I was watching Breaking Bad again not too long ago. And I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that wholesome chemistry teacher might have a little darkness inside and that he may not be quite as nice as he seems. But we'll see.
Juno Markev coming into dock.
Oh, Cranky, have you seen the ship customization? The ship customization in this is actually quite impressive. I should probably show that at least once. I think that's under ship dealer. No, it's all under equipment bay. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Yeah, I've heard that one too. I don't actually really buy it. But I remember everybody was... So the thing I loved about it was around the time that Breaking Bad was a thing, that was also the time that Canada had the crack-smoking mayor, Doug Ford, and how, much like the characters in Breaking Bad, all of... Like, Doug Ford basically shaved his head and nobody noticed until somebody finally said, hey, when did he do that? But yeah, the Breaking Bad references were immediate and swift. Anyways, so we've got. Also, I could be totally right. I could actually be that there was an intentional thing about baldness and violence, but I don't know. I wasn't sold when people told me. So yeah, anyways, I don't know if they've re-implemented this, because we've been waiting for a while. Yeah, 3D printing is temporarily disabled. Squip, the 3D printing service Rebel Galaxy Outlaw uses, is being relaunched. This feature will be re-enabled once the service is back online. Thank you for your patience. So it used to be that you could actually make a printed 3D model of your ship. And this is the tool that you have to be able to paint it. So if you want to, treat it like MS Paint, get a nice... You can do that. You can obliterate all the hard work that the developers went into creating variety and texture on this thing. But we're only going to do it from this angle. Perfect. What's probably a little bit more useful is that they do give you stencils. So if you want to do sort of fun design things, you can mess around with these. But I don't know if this is based on what you have in your library or just what they had available, but another fine Canadian product, which is quite literally all about the Canadian experience. Don't starve. I know there's a way to move the stencil layers. I just don't. L and left mouse button. I don't think that's right. Ah, here we go. The L. Oh, hang on. Control. Yeah, there we go. So. If you are not confident in your artistic ability, like I am, or like I am in the sense that I'm not confident in my artistic abilities. There you go. But yeah, so, and obviously you can import your own. You could put, whatever, terrible inside jokes you'd like to include on your ship. I think it's really cool that they've included this. I'm probably more impressed that it's present as opposed to someone who personally uses it. I think the existing ships look kind of cool. I'm actually not quite sure I could do better than even the default platypus color scheme, but I like the fact that they're included there. Hey, Night Valian, good to see. It's rare that you finish streaming at the time that I'm still going, but I also got started late. How did 7 treat you? I'm actually the opposite of a rebel. I'm fairly lawful if I look at my my record.
Have a seat, Miss Markel.
This needs to be the end of the line between us, Sander.
We shall see. I'm not quite finished with you yet. I intend to discover the identity of the party behind these attacks. I have assembled a decoy convoy, drone pilots, empty freighters from old stock, and we will yet again seek an encounter.
Not sure I'm interested in being near that ship again.
I'm not sure you have much of a choice. To continue, you'll accompany the Phantom convoy, and if and when an attack takes place, you'll capture one of the pilots involved. We'll only need one. The resources at my disposal are adept at extracting information.
Did you really need to have me fly all the way here to tell me this?
I value face-to-face interactions, Miss Markel. It's the personal touch that matters.
Right.
Meet the convoy in Little Hope, Miss Markel. Farewell.
We'll see how close Little Hope is. Oh, it's getting close to 4. I still wanted to show a small bit out of Disco Elysium too. Alright, let's see how close it is. Ooh, Little Hopes. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. The Little Hope mission I'm gonna save for a future stream, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna travel to Eureka so that I can see what the no, you know what? Screw it. I'll do the Little Hope mission. That'll be the last one. Because otherwise it's just me finishing the stream with a bunch of flying to know where that combat will actually happen. So we'll end on a bang. But I may have to leave the Disco Elysium bit for later, depending on how long it takes.
From your flight path.
Craft inbound.
No contraband detected. Proceed.
Craft inbound.
Is the baby falcon from Falconade? I believe it is. You're talking about the one that I put in the
I hate these jumps.
the bottom right-hand corner. I think there are Falcon Age stencils that you can use in the.
Destination reached.
This is from the trailer. I haven't actually played it yet.
Destination reached.
Hope you wrote up a will this morning.
Destination reached.
I do like it when they come on and ahead. I don't really think there's a more powerful loadout for my ship. Barring whatever special things we get from the equipment back in Bountiful Vistas.
Someday this thing is just gonna shake itself apart.
Destination reached.
2 systems away.
It's like getting hit by a truck.
Craft entering the area.
It's actually very hard for me to. I've said this before, but between
Destination reached.
Rebel Galaxy Outlaw as I play it,
Your host and the big
play it
sister
in
you
private
never had.
versus how I play it on stream, it's actually very hard for me to suppress the urge to sing along with the game, and I absolutely do on private play, and I 100% will never. Like, I will probably just delete my Twitch channel if I ever accidentally break out into song while while streaming.
Autopilot disengaged by craft proximity.
Well, there's the drone craft. This is going to be a quiet trip. And here we go. God, how do I get into these things? Oh, yeah. Marital fallout.
Autopilot disengaged by
Look what we
hostiles.
got here.
Hostile
And
craft
there they
entering
are,
the area.
right on schedule.
That wasn't quite enough to seal the deal. Let's try and get something a little.
There's that crazy ass ship. Hang on, they're not firing. Looks like they're breaking off. Damn it, they know something's fishy.
Craft inbound. Hostile craft inbound.
It's a lot of guys, by the way.
I better pick off one of those fighters now if I can.
Entering the area.
Find a new family with the Dodge Store. Today.
Juno.
Forward shields down. Forward shields down. Missile inbound. Missile evaded.
In fairness, that was Xander's ship, and I didn't care for them.
Missile inbound.
I do care about my ship, though, and it's about to get ripped apart, so
Evaded.
I want to try and prioritize targets. Oh god, are there more? If this is like an unlimited supply of enemies that are coming after me, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it.
Entering the area.
There's a pilot.
There we go.
Got him. Better get him back to Brust.
Craft entering the area. Mission complete.
It may be complete, but I want to fight, and I also want to steal the stuff that was in the Brust ship.
Missile inbound.
Maybe we can shoot it? Yeah. It is obviously infinitely more satisfying to shoot a missile out of the air than use the countermeasures. Alright.
Come to mama.
Really? Just two items? I'm not taking the explosives. Yeah, so to your question about Rebel, or not, well, statement, you have 58 channel points, you just get us, it'll get you an emote for a day. I don't know, how do you guys feel? We've got Stringer, which is, Stinger, which tends to be a little bit more country. Oh no, we gotta do, if it's Devil's Got You Beat, we're sticking with Stinger. I also need to find combat immediately.
Destination reached.
That always gives me such a splitting headache.
Destination reached.
Juno Markev, looking for a green light on a docking bay.
We were talking about cutscenes too, so if I were to approach the docking bay the traditional way, what would normally happen would be it would slow down and I would hear that dialogue on my own, so it's because I'm doing the shortcuts that make it seem a little bit more cutscene obsessed. I know I'm kind of repeating something I said before, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate how I'm specifically playing a certain way as opposed to it being the only way that it works. That's not a bad price.
It's done.
Excellent. We'll begin the necessary work immediately.
Look, you got what you need from me. There's nothing else I can do.
We shall see, Miss Markel. We shall see.
Pull up a chair. What can I do for you?
What do you say? Hey, what's the scuttlebutt around here?
You know, I did hear a rumor about something. Some old spacer came in, shooting his mouth off. You might want to take a look at these coordinates.
You know, designer clothes are on sale in this station. You can buy a shirt at a very affordable price.
Any idea what the market's doing these days?
I've been known to trade on the market myself from time to time. Here's what I'm interested in right now.
Huh. See you around.
Have a good one.
I think I actually cleared out the whole mission log tonight, including some of the extra ones that came in, so I'm feeling decent about that. Also, true to form, it's not going to be an all-nighter, but true to form, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw kept me streaming longer than I was planning. I am curious about this new equipment, though, so that'll be the last step in Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Destination reached.
And then we'll do all engines for the speed. And then, I don't know, if there's sufficient interest, I can show the one moment from Disco Elysium I was planning on showing, but I don't have to do that if there isn't interest. Sorry you don't get to see as much combat, Night Valiant. I don't know if you're interested in this game or not, but this was... So one of the reasons why I wanted to... Again, I don't do much in terms of 2020 retrospective or anything.
Commercials.
We can't do Ride of the Valkyries unless we got something to shoot at. Sorry.
Reached.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, this kind of came along right around the time that I was on work from home, but also on work from home without any access to any computing resources for work. So I was desperately trying to find things to do with my time. You know, I was doing what I could at work, but there were definitely points where it was days where it was like, there's just nothing to do.
I'm very pleased with the progress here at Bountiful Vista, but I can't help thinking we could liven the place up a bit. When you have a moment to discuss it, I'd love to lay out my ideas for you.
Well, just as well that I'm visiting him.
I'll see if I can drop by.
So this was, you know, a game. I said this at the start, but like it's a game where I would start at a normal stream time, and then the next thing I know, the sun is sort of rising outside the window, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, there goes my sleep plans.
I hope you got insurance.
Autopilot
Oh wait,
disengaged by
we can have
hostiles.
the Ride of the Valkyries now. Nope, not there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Lariat is.
Well, well.
Too calm.
Fresh meat. Damn it.
Intro is too long. We're already done.
Destination reached. Craft inbound.
Anything worth a
We're not in a fight, so we're gonna do normally big band, but this doesn't sound like big band.
Destination reached.
I believe so there's mod support for this game, but I actually don't think it's that hard to go into this game and add, if you wanted to add your own commercials or your own music. I believe that's fairly straightforward. Obviously, I'm playing with the streamer music mode because I would prefer you to be able to watch the VODs.
Destination reached.
But
Entering the area.
I don't know if for some reason the was it something like 60 hours of music? I don't know. There's a ridiculous amount of music in this, and really great choices. But if the choices aren't working for you, I believe you can add your own.
God, it's like get hit by a truck.
Destination reached.
So, well, this will be a more traditional example of docking.
Welcome to Bountiful Vista, the jewel of the Eureka system.
Right. This is my station, Population 1. Wait a minute. Who's... If it's Population 1, who's this lady in the back?
So, you want to liven the place up, you said. What for?
Well, purely from an aesthetic sense, wouldn't it be wonderful to see this place bustle a little? But if you're more interested in practical matters, a little passive revenue would be nice. So I propose we open a bar. Doesn't that sound grand?
I've sort of tried to avoid food service my entire life.
Oh, well, I certainly wouldn't propose that you run the place. I'm happy to take that on. There are only a few things we'll need to get started.
I'm listening.
Real whiskey?
Well, first, we'll need a good bartender. That's really key. And I know just the one, by reputation. Vider Franks. He works the bar at Velos Casino in the discouragement system. I'm sure with a little financial enticement, he'd be happy to work here.
Financial enticement, eh? What else do we need?
To start, about 10 cases of Greel whiskey should get us up and running. Once we get some cash flow, the rest should be self-supporting.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Wonderful.
All right, so let's see what's up in the equipment bay. The bartender, you mean? That's a good one. Okay. I do kind of wish it would tell me what... what the new stuff is. So right now I'm running autocannons. Excuse me. The thing I really like about the autocannons are that they do an insane amount of damage. And they, like, the only drawback to them is the reload time, but they don't really put that much strain on my, on my generator. So basically I'm able to put all of that towards shields and engines without worrying too much about, I don't know, but like I don't really need to worry too much about how I'm leaving myself open to not being able to dump energy into the shields, for instance. So we're definitely not using utility laser. That's kind of a starting. Combat laser we've already grown out of. Yeah, tracer, Gauss gun. We've used a lot of these in the past. So the Trion accelerator. What's the story here? Ah. That's why I don't use it. Although I am a little curious if I were to just put four of those things on my my ship, how long I could could fire it for. I also like the idea of the higher, so the DPS is attractive, but given the fact that I have half the hull penetration, I think that increase to DPS is quite deceptive. We're already using the ion cannon, the photon cannon. Well, I'm not so interested in taking out shields. The Tachyon gun, I think, is the same story as the Trion Accelerator. It seems really good on paper, but the increase... So, okay, the damage goes from like 20 to 31, so that is a meaningful increase. The range is lower, so obviously I don't have that period of time where I sort of run through. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've already made my decision on those. It's best... Okay, so we're already packing the best for all of these. I mean, it said that there would be... It said there'd be special equipment, but...
How's it going? Have you got the whiskey? We'll still need Vida on board as well.
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
All right, I'm gonna have to find out what's going on with that equipment bay, but I think that will be it. We're still at 75 capital ships destroyed because I chose to be merciful. I really like this game. So I'm curious, Sean, you're a madman if you're still around, but are you still around? Because I'm debating... it doesn't just have to be for Sean, but does anybody want to see the... So this is from Disco Elysium. I found out yesterday. So for those of you who've played Disco Elysium, when you owe someone money early on in the game, and I don't know if you've tried the option to like skip out on it, but I tried that and it was very amusing, let's say. And I'd be happy to show that off before wrapping up for tonight. But if there isn't any interest, I can just say this is a Rebel Galaxy Outlaw stream, and we can leave it there. While I wait for a reply to that, let me just take a minute here and open up the browser to see if there's anybody to host tonight. I think most people are probably going to be asleep, but that doesn't mean I can't try. You ever played Disco Elysium? I had a really good time with it. That and Dicey Dungeons have been sort of the two big surprises out of the stuff that I've bought over the holiday period. There's definitely other games that I bought, and there's other games that I've really enjoyed. I actually started playing Unity of Command finally, and had a good time with that. But all right, if there isn't enough interest in seeing the bit from Disco Elysium, I can leave it to Fruit Melody, who's doing an art stream. The only other one that I would really think about hosting right now would be we've got Brace Yourself Games, which is doing Twitch Plays Crypto the Necrodancer to about as many people as I seem to be getting lately, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I can leave you in Fruit Melody's capable hands. I know she tends to stream quite late, and I like watching her art stuff. I will say that the chat interaction is usually limited to typed chat as opposed to spoken, but she's a very nice streamer, very supportive, and so I feel comfortable leaving you in her capable hands. So as for me, I kind of have the same. I have kind of the same setup. Planned out for the weekend. I'm going to need to get my sleep back on track, but I'm planning to record another Morrowind episode tonight. I feel like we're getting close to the end of Blood Moon, which will probably mean that will be the end of Morrowind coming up. As far as I've got a couple more YouTube videos to record, and then assuming everything's working, I think it's fair to say that for the time being, I'm going to leave Age of Wonders Planetfall alone, and I think I'm going to make Phantom Brigade the new Monday stream. Namely because Brace Yourself's been really good at giving me keys, and Paradox hasn't, and so I can keep the strategy theme for Mondays while doing something that I definitely like to make sure that I'm supporting properly. So probably Phantom Brigade on Mondays. And then it seems that there's something of a demand for Hollow Knight. So I've been doing that on Wednesdays and Fridays lately. Obviously, this Friday was an exception because it's the holiday. I may not do 2 nights of it every week. But I will try and do at least I'll try and do it at least once a week, and I will definitely have weeks where I do Wednesday and Friday for Hollow Knight, and then obviously, assuming I get the Morrowind episode recorded, that'll be up for Tuesday. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Have a good weekend, and Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you around.